As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Hello, my beautiful people. It's nice to see you. I hope you guys are doing well this afternoon. I am nursing the shoulder. I got ice. My shoulder is just bothering me today. As many of you guys know, I've been going through some pain. It's just hurting old Betty. All these old age pains. It's nice to see everybody up in the chat. Melanie, Sonia, Trust the Process, Wild Wolf, Veronica, it's nice to see you. The Real Me Too, Phil, hello, Eeyore Blue, Melanie, Denise, it's nice to see you. We got Linda, Nicole, it's nice to have you as well. Pebbles, good afternoon, Love Bug, Crystal Pistol, Linda, it's nice to see you. Sonia, did I say hi to you? Oh, thank you so much, Miss Melanie. Thank you, sending love, because I'm the love machine. I'm going to try to kick it with this ice. I needed to do something. I didn't know what else to do, so we iced it. Everything's kind of, I don't know what's going on with all my stuff, but some of my mouses are working, some of them aren't, so I have to bounce between two different mouses. One of them starts working and the other one won't. They both got new batteries. One's a chargeable thing and one's not. So who else do we have? Little Orange Man, Frank It Up. It's nice to see you. Hey, Ruby, JH, aloha. Robin, it's nice to see you. Cheyenne, good afternoon. Deanna, hello. Kimberly, it's nice to see you. Show Poodles, hello. Susan, it's nice to see you. Elizabeth, good to have you. Denise, I think I said hi. Kathleen, hey. I think I got everybody so far. Let me go over to the vertical, see what we got over in vertical. Who's all over here? Hello. West Virginia, holla girl. It's nice to see you. Kathy, hello guys. It's nice to see you. Eeyore Blues, I think you're over here in the new chat. We do have you. I guess you guys have about 10 people over in the vertical chat. If you guys would like to come over and be in our chat, you're more than welcome to. I don't know how many people we got over here. We got about 59 people over here this afternoon so far. So we're gonna, honey, I gotta work. Yes, I know. You're such a sweet little baby. Thank you. Thank you for coming to say hi. Bye-bye. So we've got a couple of updates that I wanted to provide to you. We covered 2 cases this morning. One was of the producer and actor, Rod Reiner, I believe is what his name is, Rob Reiner. And, there's not a whole lot of information that we haven't covered this morning. This morning we were breaking some news that was breaking as we were talking. So we knew that the son was in custody. We had learned that the son was in custody and being questioned in the homicides. And then before we closed out, the son was officially arrested on suspicion of homicide. Well, he ended up, that's kind of where we were. We didn't know what the charges were. I went and looked. I'm still very unclear about the charges. I'm being told that it's under suspicion. He's being arrested for suspicion of homicide, first degree homicide, I believe is what it is. And he's got a $4 million bond. But the exact charges for that $4 million bond, I'm unclear for. It doesn't seem like anybody is really cooperating with any type of news out there to tell them what has he been charged with, other than what I've said. And that's just so far. That's what I was able to find out before I started getting ready for this live. I haven't checked it for about half hour, 45 minutes. If that's changed, please let us know. What I did find out that was breaking news is that apparently while they were over at Conan's house, what's his name? I can't remember his name. What's Conan's name? Something Conan or Conan something, whatever it was. Well, apparently they were over at a Christmas party at Conan's house, and there was a huge fight between Rob and Nick at the house. And Conan Bryan, that's it, Conan Bryan. And he was over at their house, and O'Brien. There it is, Conan O'Brien. There we go. Thank you guys. You guys are saving me. So they were over there for a Christmas party, and apparently Nick wasn't acting right. Got into a big fight with his dad, but all the attendees there basically said Nick was not Conan O'Brien. There we go. Thank you. Sounds like the fight, we don't know what the fight was about, but if everybody at the party was saying he was acting strange, I of course with his history and all, I think we can kind of, connect the dots here as to what may have gone on. It also might be a family problem. We don't know. Maybe something was brought up that they were trying to kind of shovel under the proverbial rug, and it kind of came to a head at Conan's house. I don't know. I don't know what the case may be, but there's your updated information. Do we know what the fight was about? So far, I'm sure somebody knows what the argument was about, but it hasn't been released yet. Just the fact that there was a fight on Saturday before the homicide on Sunday, and that Nick was acting very, very oddly, to say the least. So that's kind of where we are with that whole ordeal with Rob. Now, I will say this. I know that there's a lot of people up in arms. I'm pretty sure you guys know where I am going with my next commentary, tidbit of commentary. And that is that Donald Trump has made some statements, okay? He has made some statements. What the heck is this? Guys, excuse me just for a second. I don't know what that... Oh, that was part of that. Okay. There was comments made about, Donald Trump and obviously the victims of the crime not necessarily being on the best of terms. So... what do I have to say about that? Not a whole lot. We're not celebrating, and even the president is not celebrating the homicide. But this guy was very nasty and mean to the president. Should the president take the higher road? Should it be more presidential for the president to take the higher road? Yeah, maybe. But you know what? I am so sick and tired of taking the higher road. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm so sick and tired of taking the higher road. I'm always sick and tired of being better than the people treat us. I'm so sick and tired of it. He never celebrated it, but damn it, he has a lot to say. He has a lot to say. This man called him every name in the book. He called him a fascist, called him, wants him in prison and all this other stuff. And he's a Hollywood elite guy. We don't know what happened inside their home. I'm not willing to put away my judgment just yet, folks. I'm sorry, I'm just not. You don't have to like me, and that's perfectly fine. You don't even have to respect me. That's perfectly fine. I can't help, I can't please everybody, right? I can't please everybody, and neither can the President of the United States of America. Am I sitting here sulking over what he said? Of course not. I think, I didn't say it because, again, this man, Rob, it's never done anything to me, right? I've definitely watched him say a lot of terrible things. I watched people celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination, from the left. I haven't seen any of that so far. So, I really don't care about people's selective outrage on some comments the president said. If you want my personal opinion, not that any of you guys ask, but sometimes I feel like I just need to volunteer the information on where I'm standing and how I feel about a certain topic. And that's kind of how I feel about the certain topic. If anybody's curious, I really don't care. I think President Trump earned the right to say what he said. And again, he provided his condolences to the deaths. So that's about as much grace as I guess we could expect from him. Yeah. So I'm thankful for the little bit of grace that he's been able to show. Had somebody treated me that horribly and then lost their life, would I be as classy? Probably not. I probably would have been very distraught and very, related. Can you imagine what I'm gonna look like if something happens to BT, BS, or QB? If the internet didn't already hate me, I'm sorry. God help me. God help me. I'm sorry. But you are not going to see this girl whimpering. You're not going to see this girl. I'd send my condolences, but I'm pretty sure my condolences kind of come with the same disclaimer as Donald J. Trump. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not sorry. I don't know what you guys want from me. I'm a real human being on this side of the screen, okay? I have real feelings. And I can guarantee I even have I get a little pissed off too if you don't, I'm a real human being. Ouch, right? Ouch. Okay? I'm pretty sure if I cut myself, I'd bleed this color red, okay? Crimson red, just like every single one of you. And don't worry, I do have my sweatpants still on, and guess what? I put them on one leg at a time, just like you. Okay? Just thought I'd throw that out there, okay? Like I said, clergymen, we can always aspire to be better. And I'm there. I always aspire to be better. But I don't lie about who I am. Because at the end of the day, to be close to God is to be honest, okay? I'm not trying to be somebody I am not, okay? I am not a sweet person, okay? I can be kind, I can be sweet, but at the end of the day, I'm not a sweet person. I'm not a kind person. I'm kind when kindness is required, right? When kindness is warranted. I'm a time and the place kind of person. So I can be kind. I can also be very unkind, okay? That's the world I live in. So I try to be a better person every single day. And I try to make sure that the times that I'm unkind are less than the times that I'm kind, right? But far from perfect, okay? I'm a real human being over here. Okay? And I'm a real sinner, too. Sure am. Real sinner. And you know what? Sometimes sinners are just going to be sinners. We pray to God we become better sinners, right? Not so bad sinners, but we're still all I think from the time we're born to the time we die, we're going to be sinning, right? maybe it takes us to about 3. Maybe our terrible twos. Okay, babies are perfect until they get 2. Okay, then they become demon children, and then we know that they're real human beings. Yep. Ham Gadgets partnered and waited for the grand. Waiting for the grand, parked and waiting for the grand. What grand? Well, I'm just saying Bullhorn Betty gets 10%. Okay? I'm just saying we have rules. We have rules. No, I'm just joking. Break it up. It's nice to see you. Sonia, post your stuff for Sebastian. You can reach out to her, hun. She puts everything's done. She's not techie. She's not with the stuff. She's still old fashioned. She still likes the personal touch and the personal communication with her clientele. So there's not a whole lot you can do but reach out to her. You got to talk. She's one of those people that are belly to belly, kind of like we are when we cover these cases. We like to be belly to belly. That's kind of how she is, kind of sort of. I mean, she does use kind of techie stuff, but I mean. I need to shut up. I just need to shut up. I'm just saying. Yeah, probably, Daffy. Probably. Absolutely. But we also had some information about the other case that we were going over this morning was obviously Brown University, okay? And 2 of the victims have been identified, and the 2 victims that have been identified, why did it just jump down on me? Are Ella Cook, the vice president of the Republican chapter, and this Muhammad Aziz. I can't pronounce the and it's from Uzbekistan, in Central Asia, and it's Muhammad Aziz Umarzokov, if I'm pronouncing it right, which I probably butchered that poor man's name, but he's from Uzbekistan, and it's in Central Asia. So I don't know if he had more Indian descent or more Asian descent, but it seemed like they were a part of this. Now, this kind of brings me back to, oops, did I do that? Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to do that. Where am I? There we go. It brings me back to a situation like we were watching that gunman, and I couldn't tell you if he was white or if he was Muslim. All I could tell you is that he was determined. But based on the attack, based on the people that were attacked, the classroom that was attacked, it does seem kind of terroristic, like Islamic terroristic type of thing, because Islam and the Jewish religion and people they're like the Hackfield and McCoys. Okay, you guys understand that? I mean, more so than the American people are. But the Jewish and the Islam, they are just Hackfield and McCoys, okay? And the Hackfield and McCoys is a very brutal story, believe it or not. It's not, I know a lot of people joke about it and made videos about it, but it was not pretty. They would boom, boom, boom each other, back in the earlier days of civilization and whatever the case may be. But it's bad. It's bad. So I don't know if this is, but with it being the VP of the Republican Party, now we're starting to feel a little more political, a little more left-leaning radical versus maybe Muslim or Islamic terrorism. So I'm still a little confused. I'm still concerned about who carried out this cowardly act against beautiful souls. But this has got to be a calling to all of our universities. It is time to lift the safe zones, because clearly they're not safe zones. They're sitting duck zones. And I'm sick and tired of watching children and young adults having to face this type of brutality without any type of protection for themselves. And our federal government needs to make laws that allow students to carry weapons on these campuses. I am sorry. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. And it's getting dangerous, especially on these universities and schools. And we know it. We see it. We're watching it. And I'm sick and tired of it being the gun's fault. It is not the gun's fault. It is pure evil's fault. And the only way you can combat evil is with good. And the only people that can fight the type of evil are good people with law-abiding guns. And we need to get more and more people on the universities packing. I guarantee people will think twice before coming on their campus and being shot dead before they even get through the front doors. Okay? That's what needs to be happening across this country. We need to be teaching proper training to our teachers in grade schools, middle schools, and in high schools that can protect our children. People that have the ability, maybe military. There's a lot of people that have gone to school to become teachers that are past law enforcement, past civilian law enforcement, or past military, right? Those people are already trained more over than half the darn city police officers out there or county sheriffs. We should be making sure our students are protected at all cost. We shouldn't be acting like pussies in these schools where our precious cargoes are, okay? And I'm sorry. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing people being sitting ducks inside schools where they should be defending themselves. You have one person blasted out the front door, you'll find out how quickly people stop targeting schools. I'm sorry. You want to end crime? End crime. It doesn't seem like a lot of people really want to end crime. It seems like they want to act like they're trying to. They seem like they want to be a Christopher Proudfoot, now don't they? They want the appearance of trying to end crime, but not actually ending crime. It's not profitable enough for them. Trust me, as sick as these MFers are, it is profitable to have crime in this country, which is sick. If we didn't have crime in this country, we wouldn't have a whole sector of employment, right? If we actually lived without crime in our country, why would we need prisons, right? Or the amount of prisons that we have? Why did we privatize prisons? What do you bet it was cronyism? Anyways, let's get moving. I could spend it on all day. I could literally talk about this stuff all day. So at the end of the day, we've got a press conference being held at 5 p.m. Will we be able to watch that 5 p.m. press conference, guys? I really don't know. But the two people that were, shot and killed, two people lost their lives. And that was the vice president of the Republican Party, which, again, I'm not liking the sounds of this. This kind of takes me back to white liberal, so I'm still bouncing. I believe it's one or the other, in all fairness. I believe it's one or the other. Chris Calvert, Katie Proudfoot, where's Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? Amen, Denise. Amen. Amen. All right, guys, let me get out of all of this stuff here, and then we'll pull this up. Many of you guys are here because of a young man by the name of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, he was 15 at the time that he disappeared, and he disappeared on February 26, 2024. It's been almost 2 years since anybody has seen or heard from Sebastian Rogers. Almost 2 years. Just recently, on December 7th, he had his 17th birthday, where his father was somber. He had an event at his local Culver's, where Sebastian loved to get malt ice cream, malt shakes or whatever. I don't know what malt is. I just know shakes, but malts. And he passed around flyers about his missing son. Sebastian's mother, Katie Proudfoot, on the other hand, decided she was going to have just a great old time and go out and be on the phone and do a live and live it up and chat and laugh and joke and have a good old memorial service for her deceased son. It was quite appalling, since her son still hasn't been found and still hasn't been deemed deceased. I want that to sink in, related to what I'm saying. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at it. It sounds like she's talking about her grandfather that she hasn't seen since he died, and what a great man he was. Look at all these great times we had. It is appalling. I can't express to you how appalling that is. Okay? And that's his mother. His father's handing out flyers. His mother's cracking jokes. Now, one thing I forgot to say at the beginning of this intro about Sebastian Rogers is that when he disappeared, he was with only his mother. He had a day out with her. By the end of the day, it looked like he was tired and maybe overstimulated. According to his father, him having his hands deep in his pockets is not a favorable sign for his son, which is a high-functioning autistic boy. According to law enforcement, Sebastian made it to his home and went inside his home before coming out and putting out the garbage, going inside the home with his mother and only his mother, and never being seen again. There are a lot of cameras in his neighborhood, including one across the street that points directly at his front door. Nobody saw a thing. Even Chris himself acknowledges that if anybody walked in that door, such as a kidnapper, it would have been picked up on the camera across the street. As grainy as it may be, it would have picked up something. That camera picked up 0. Now you fast forward to telling the story. There has been multiple variations of what happened that evening before he disappeared and what happened between the time he disappeared to the time he was reported missing. Those stories have changed wildly and slightly. So the one thing at that point I think everybody noticed is the lack of emotion. The lack of emotion for Christopher Proudfoot, which is the stepfather, and I don't think it's very uncommon for us to see a disconnect between step-parents. I think the most alarming was the mother, the one that was only with her son. Because in many cases where a mother loses her son, she's very incontrollable and inconsolable. And here she was very controlled, very tempered, very nonchalant, not what we expect from a mother that should be grieving or urgent, or things aren't getting done quick enough, or demanding that they go and help and aid in the efforts, especially the arrogance of military-trained people. If you're a military or from a military-trained family, only you understand the arrogance that I'm talking about. And we all know that it is an arrogance problem, right? Nobody can do anything better than them because they've been trained to do it the best. And that's the appearance that they give, the macho side of them that the military gives people. And we saw none of that coming out of them. None of that whatsoever. None of that need to control even the searching for their son. As a matter of fact, when I go back to the beginning and review all of the videotapes, they kept saying he's attracted to the water. We are learning he's attracted to the water. And while I missed all of that way at the time because we didn't know too much about autism when we first started this road, but now that I'm going back to it and hearing that being pushed, there's only one person that would have been pushing that he gravitates toward water, and it would have been his mother, because she was the only person at the time providing information to law enforcement. And we all know that that was not true, and she knew that wasn't true. She used that as an excuse, in my opinion, because we all know autistic children are drawn to the water, or she wanted them to find him somewhere in the water, which could have also been a clue. I'm not sure which it is. But the one thing we've noticed is the behavior. The behavior is all too telling. For people like us that are in the true crime community, we watch this stuff over and over again, day in and day out. And what we find is that there are certain people that act entirely too similar to one another behaviorally. And those are parents of guilty mindsets. These are the people that have injured their children. Okay, these are the people that are lying to law enforcement to try to escape from their responsibility and accountability for what they did to a child. Letecia Stauch is now the new person that we are going to be comparing to Katie Proudfoot. We were just talking about Susan Smith, and while their cases are, a lot different. We had younger children. We had the mother having an affair, and the person she was having an affair with not wanting the children, and her wanting to leave her husband and be with this new guy. And she set up a black guy to take the fall for kidnapping her kids. So there was a lot of differences in the case in totality. Lots of differences. But the similarities, and only the similarities in my opinion, in Susan Smith and Katie Proudfoot is behavior. Their behavior. Their lack of emotions. We saw Katie laugh on screen when being asked the very first question. We see Susan Smith laughing before she realizes the cameras are rolling, and then she turns her attention to a grieving mother. We saw it in real time. So we have these major issues in behavior from one person to another. Then we look at Courtney Bartholomew, which is not even convicted yet. But she has been accused, and we found out she has confessed. She confessed to what she did to Rebecca Park, her and Bradley. It was horrific what they did to that little girl. Horrific. And to think that was her child that she gave birth to. It is horrific. Horrific. And they admitted to it. And we were able to take Courtney Bartholomew and Katie, and it was just like their speech pattern just mimicked one another. They said different things, but I'm telling you, we could go back and forth and have the exact same monotone speech tone from both of them. It was creepy. It was creepy, folks. And now, because of 5D, a big shout out. If I could throw something on here to throw shout out to 5D, I would, but I don't. The only thing I can do, let me get this. The only thing I can do is put her latest, what we're going to be talking about, into the chat. I'm going to do it here. Give me a second. I'm going to do it in horizontal chat first. There it is. It's coming over to you guys in the vertical chat now. Here you go. That's to 5D. If you haven't subbed up 5D, why do I keep doing that? I don't know why I keep doing that for horizontal. If you haven't subbed up to 5D, sub up to 5D. This right here, this is the work. She just did this for Susan Smith. And thank you, Sonia. You're the best. I need to give you our code to Nightbot. And I need to show you how to set these things up. So all this stuff, you can just set it and forget it. Because you guys pop this stuff all in here. You can set it however you want it because you guys mod the chat. I just put it in there to help you guys out. But if, I think it would help you a little bit better. But it's up to you. I'm just saying. Let me know. Okay, so there's 5D's channel right there. Big shout out to 5D. This is great work, okay? And this took hours and hours. And the reason why I know it took hours and hours to compile is because the reason why you don't get this kind of videos from me is because I don't have time to spend hours and hours on these types of videos. I just don't. So when we have somebody that does and does them well, like 5D or Lauren from Facebook, or was it Lauren or Laura? Lauren from Facebook. You bet your butt we pay attention to those. Bless those people. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. And I can't stress to you all enough just how much work it probably took 5D to compile this, okay? And I just want you guys to know that because I want you guys to appreciate her great work. So go over there. Make sure you hit her thumbs up in the likes. Make sure you sub up to her channel as well, okay, guys?
What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with
sorry, it's gonna
with the case.
I understand there was a request for video, any sort of footage of Sebastian from earlier in the day on Sunday before he disappeared.
That I don't believe we can comment on right now. That is not something that I believe we're privy to at this point with law enforcement.
I'm sorry. It's so unprofessional of me to laugh. I think the word he's using, and I hate people. I hate the grammar police. Okay, I hate the grammar police, but it ain't pervy. It's privy. Oh, good gracious. Oh, good gracious. I'm just saying. I'm trying to. I don't know. It caught me off guard, but it caught me off guard. And this is a serious conversation, okay? But it just made me chuckle. Maybe it's because you guys know I don't do well late in the afternoons, and we're rolling late in the afternoons, okay? So you're gonna have to bear with me, okay? But if you guys did a double take and said, did he say pervy? Yeah, he said pervy. Okay, I think that was kind of a Floridian slip. We kind of know that he wears granny panties and they go swinging. Woo-hoo. Okay, and maybe that's just in my opinion. Maybe I should put a disclaimer on that. I don't want to be sued by hashtag Chris and Katie Proudfoot, the most lethal hashtags on these streets. Good gracious.
Enforcement, that is something I would definitely direct back to them.
More so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations.
Like I said, in short demand and could be overfloweth with people out there if we could just find a way to become all one united group, and we can just do.
I think we just ruined this show. I did not mean to ruin the show, but I think we ruined the show, okay? I didn't have these problems. I did not have these problems when I listened to it the first time on 5D's channel, okay? I did not have these problems, but I also didn't catch the pervy thing. And now that we caught the pervy thing, now we're going on to him saying we all just need to be one. And I'm thinking, no, we don't. No, we don't. That's no. Especially when I just came off of saying, so winging, right? And we're like, okay, let's all be one. No, let's not. No. Let's not. I think I killed the whole show. I think we just need to start and come back tomorrow. I'm just saying. Oh, good gracious. Hey, Nani, it's nice to see you, love bug. Nice to see you. Who else do we have? We have Moonchild. It's nice to see you, my friend. Hello. Who else do we have? Emily, it's nice to see you. Good afternoon. Big Mac Mike up in the house. Hello, my loves. Okay, nice to see y'all. Okay, let's start this over. I'm going to shut up.
Since the very first time you were the last person to see him. Is that right?
Correct.
What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with the case.
I understand there was a request for video, any sort of footage of Sebastian from earlier in the day.
Hey, Sandy, want to be sleuthing? It's nice to see you.
That I don't believe we can comment on right now. That is not something that I believe we're privy to at this point with law enforcement. That is something I would definitely direct back to them.
More so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations.
Like I said, in short demand and could be overfloweth with people out there if we could just find a way to become all one united group, and we can just do this.
Like the things that have been said, that I've disappeared from the community, I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that.
Reasons like death threats, right?
Right. Death threats are one of them. My family's getting lots of death threats. We counted over 20-some death threats already.
And obviously you guys are going through the unimaginable, and then, getting a lot of like the kickback that you've seen on social media. I mean, how much worse has that made it for you two to go through something like this?
Honestly, we stopped looking at it. Terrible people in this world, and I don't want to waste energy on any of that. I want the focus on finding our son.
Do you guys receive hate
That-
on the internet?
Yes, and it's ongoing. It's every single day.
I'm going to shift gears to what has become a huge online presence of people obviously trying to do the right thing, help find Gannon. But at the same time, sometimes it just feels like rumor mongering. Have you seen any of those comments yourself?
We have. And see, that's one of the main things we haven't been around in the public eye, because I didn't want to expose my family to it if all these things were going on.
We've heard all kinds of stories.
I pretty much don't even go online anymore at this point.
I, on the other hand, I do go on, and I do talk to these folks.
You know, there was comments about Gannon getting pushed off the hike, and there was comments about this, and that's just not true. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And I would never, ever hurt this child. And I know there's some questions out there about, okay, so tell me what happens. That's up to the investigations when they end up letting you guys know, but I've cooperated with them.
The father, the mother, and myself have been extremely cooperative.
I should try and clarify here. Not necessarily crime rates, but the way that people are reacting online to rumors about you with the search.
Oh yes, wow. The rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon.
We're going to find him.
That's the main goal that we all have. My family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal.
Aside, we all love him and we all have the goal of bringing him home.
We've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we could protect each other.
So she just says that she hasn't been out searching because of all of the threats, and then all of a sudden they've all been out there searching, together. It doesn't make sense. She's out there when she needed to go out there to show face. That was it. It was well established early on that this was the outcome of the case. People just saw the red flags immediately, like they did in this case here, and the accusations went flying in the Gannon Scout case. And guess what? We were right. We were right. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We were accused of being liars, and how we're going to need to apologize to Letecia Stauch, and come to find out everybody was right. 100% correctamundo. Right.
Have you guys
The goal of bringing him home.
We've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we could protect each other.
have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How does it feel when not only you have a lost child who you are in care of, but then people blaming you for that child not being there?
I'm just ready for Gannon to come home.
Just hope someone finds him.
Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online.
Well, here's what I'll say about Trev, and I'm gonna say this open and publicly.
It's okay.
So Trev sent me a message and he apologized.
Mm-hmm.
He apologized to me and my wife because
I just want to say, Trevor and all of those backstabbing, no good, rotten, spread eagle, POSs, you guys are a joke. You proved to the true crime community that you're a joke. You will never be accepted on this show. Now, I can't say for all the people, because I know there's some people like that. There's some people in our clique that like Trevor. I want nothing to do with him. I told him he hung out with those people. He did what he did. He was going to ruin his reputation. Then he calls these people up like a b-boy. like a bish boy? And he gonna apologize to somebody that abused Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? You are a coward, Trevor. Just a straight up coward. What? People do some stupid stuff. That man is stupid. Stupid!
Because he made a mistake. He got wrapped up in, I'm going to call it the sauce, jumping on the bandwagon of assuming and accusing us. Now, he went back and he has changed that. He has apologized.
Mm-hmm.
That right there alone, I'll do your show.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did it. You did what you were supposed to do.
Oh, I dig your show now. Oh, now I dig your show. Now because you came back and apologized like a bish boy, now you my bish. Mm-hmm. Yep. We see how that went. Now he like his show, okay? I ain't that kind of woman. I assess these things. When I make an assessment, you ain't getting out of the doghouse until somebody is proven wrong. And so far, everything that I've seen so far is still proven my theory accurate and correct so far. Just saying. Okay, let's just go back and listen to it so we don't miss anything.
Us. Now, he went back and he has changed that. He has apologized.
Mm-hmm.
That right there alone, I'll do your show.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That
you
alone.
did it. You
That
did
alone
what
did
you're
it.
supposed to do as a man or a woman, excuse me. A new age thing nowadays. Sorry. Righteousness, the right thing, that
Oh,
will
righteousness.
get you a lot farther than the rest of it.
Oh, maybe if this man practiced what he preached, he would have 5 ex-wives and a missing stepson. I'm just saying.
You know, I mean, it's one thing. And that's what I'm saying. The JLR, this dude, he's going to have to make a public apology. He's going to have to make it public for me to
Okay.
consider him. And the reason why I say that is because how much crap he put out there and to the level he has gone to certain topics.
For all the things they said that I have done or people have done, and I just want everyone to know that we're going to find Gannon. And I love him so much. I've helped taking care of him for so long.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him? I don't know him.
Gannon is so kind, and he loves to play video games.
He was somewhat of a gamer, or what was he? There was a video game he loved, right?
Minecraft. He loves Minecraft. The game that he has is not online. He has the
Wow, I thought she was a distraught mom, man. She snapped out of that real quick.
Switch.
That's one of his favorite things. He loves Sonic and Mario, and you know, he's always helpful, and he was always so helpful with the dogs around the house, and we have 2 little cute dogs, and he was always like a person I could say, Gannon, can you go do this? And he would do it right away.
Just the most adorable toddler, and pretty cute as a teenager too, but every single one of these pictures I remember taking. That flower vase that you just showed, that was a Mother's Day gift that he made for me that year. It can look brown as brown can be 1 minute, and then in different lighting the blonde really comes through, which is why I like to share some of the more diverse pictures, because you know, it helps with the perspective. If you see them, you know, depending on the lighting and how it's cut, really does make it look a little different. So that was back when we were in California. That was his bedroom. And they were learning about the planets, and he was excited about it. And I found this kit, and each one of those planets we painted. And then we put them up in his room, the solar system, and I found that the glow stars and moons and whatnot. And so at night, he would make sure his light was on, and at bedtime he would turn it off, and he would just have the whole solar system up there. And
Yes.
on his wall back there, his helper award that he got at school. He was so proud of that. We still have it hanging. It was a huge motivator for him.
Was. And what it says here is that Katie never had good times with Sebastian when he got older. Katie doesn't show Sebastian's older picture because it's going to make her mess up more easily by reminding of her of all the evil things her and Chris do to him. She was happy with the younger Sebastian. She could no longer handle the 15-year-old Sebastian, in my opinion. I think they made the decision in 2022. He needed to go, and when Chris gave her the ultimatum and refused to come home, I think she snapped.
Sometimes with kids we have to remind them and things like that, and that's okay, but he was so sweet and able to help anyone. He could notice when you're sick and say, "Are you okay?" and such a kind heart.
I know you just said that you can't say anything about the investigation, so you can just say so again if you can't answer this, but is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, she came home from work after the hike, and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, and Letecia was on a hot mic, and you can hear her coercing her daughter to lie for her. Right there, like busted. And the camera guy kept it in. Of course he did. He was smart.
That's fine with me. And if she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed to ask her.
Let's listen.
Sound okay so far?
Yes. I need Harley.
Listen.
I need Harley.
He didn't realize this until after.
Gannon at home after the hike. Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work.
Do you want me to just say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you...
What do you want me to say? Did you hear her? What do you want me to say?
You can verify Gannon was at home.
Listen.
Do you want me to just say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in-depth because she is still, a child, but I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home?
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
Garden of the Gods, okay. I guess when...
And then we ate Burger King afterwards, so,
There you go.
Yeah.
Convincing language.
And then it just was, I'm going to go to play at a friend's house.
And so what it says is narcissist psychopath, and it says he was already dead in a suitcase. Letecia Stauch was putting on a performance to try to get away with it.
And then it was just, I'm off to go to play at a friend's house.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to comment on that anymore, and for that reason is because some things have been turned and twisted, and that was one of those stories you were talking about where people say things. We had to hear things like who would let their child go out at dark and things like that, and that's just why I don't want to answer that. If I had to give, I'm not gonna say that part.
That's okay.
Never mind.
Right.
I could take that out.
I understand that it gets tricky with
Yeah.
legal stuff. Do you feel like I asked you what I need to? Do you feel like this is going to help kind of turn the tide of what feels like a witch hunt, in my opinion?
I hope. Am I on camera now?
You are still.
Okay. I think that a lot of people can see that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative. But to me, it's okay that they think those things because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher, and they just didn't know that. Like, we moved on a military move and I didn't finish out my contract, so I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity, or any of those things. And it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status, and
Do you feel like these are just internet detectives who think they know what they're doing?
it definitely is. And, here's the thing that kind of saddens me.
There's a few things I can say about what we've heard so far. And that is, she was about to get loose, and then she's like, oh, am I on camera? And then she went right into a persona. And so she hasn't come out of that persona yet. And of course, she's just blaming everybody for thinking she could have possibly done anything to this little boy, which all these people, I just want to remind you, were 100% correct. She did unalive him. He was sitting in a suitcase. He was most likely sitting in a suitcase while they were doing this interview, folks. She was in the U-Haul truck during this interview. He was in a suitcase inside that U-Haul truck.
It's like, if you're going to talk about someone like that and have a witch hunt out for them, why would you even care, about doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened.
If he could hear you right now, what would you say to him? And if somebody had him, what would you say to them?
I would say to Sebastian that we love you, baby. Bubba, we're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And I would say to somebody that has my son that they better let him go and they better come out, because we're going to come and we're going to find him. We're not going to stop, and we're going to bring an army with us.
Okay.
An army of support, of people that are helping to look. And son, I love you.
Katie, if you could take anything back about that day, about Sunday, and redo anything about Sunday, what would it be?
I'd have slept outside that boy's door.
And then the laugh after it. She's proud of herself for being clever. I just can't. I can't. Okay, let's go back. I gotta shut my mouth.
Anything about Sunday, what would it be?
I'd have slept outside that boy's door. I say it like that, and I promise I'm not laughing.
Yeah.
And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon.
That we love you and to come home.
Wow. 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 Right? Wow. I mean, So, we've had an opportunity of the Tale of Two Moms where we discussed Susan Smith. Again, a lot of the behaviors of Susan Smith are what are denoted in that. Not necessarily the details. She was dealing with two boys. One was, very, very young, toddler. And one was a little older. But she drove them into a lake, and she blamed a black guy for carjacking her and kidnapping her children. And, this is back in the 90s where, we were having a huge problem with the crack epidemic. and people, it was predominantly affecting the Black community. So for somebody from South Carolina saying that a Black man carjacked her, people would buy it, okay? Because what were they watching on their news every single day, right? So this was, you got to remember what era it was when all of this was going on. And so they started believing it. I think they even arrested a man that resembled her description, her composite description, and he was cleared because he had an alibi. Can you imagine what would have happened to that Black man if he didn't have an alibi? Holy smokes. I mean, just like Seth Rogers. What would have happened to Seth Rogers if he didn't have an alibi? But thank God, not only did he have an alibi, he had an airtight alibi where he was on camera almost the entire time of this range of disappearance. I mean, just talk about, Seth being fortunate to have an alibi like that, because it was anything else at any other time, and Seth wasn't at work, he would have been the number one suspect. Hey, Justin, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. I'm listening, but getting myself together. I will be in chat in a little bit. Oh, nice to see you. Okay, perfect. Get dressed. So we have a situation here where a child went into their home with their mother. And at first, I think when this case first started breaking, we all thought Chris Proudfoot did something to this child, because Chris Proudfoot seemed to be the instigator of a lot of family problems related to Sebastian. He was never a nurturing father. I think Lisa Be Always, which reminds me, thank you, Lisa. That was a nice contribution. I appreciate that. She had brought up that he was trying to, normalize Sebastian through punishment. Like he just believed if Sebastian could do it, if he just wanted to do it, he just wasn't doing it. He didn't really want it bad enough. Just a little bit more. He'll get it. I just know it, right? Because he's not a nurturing guy. He doesn't understand what the F he's doing. He doesn't like kids, and it shows. He doesn't like women, okay? He likes women, but he doesn't like wives, okay? Let me clear that up. He likes women. He likes women. He just doesn't like wives. He likes to hurt his wives because he can't go out and do whatever he wants to do when he has a wife, and he wants to do whatever he wants to do. But this is the second relationship, or the third relationship that he's had with children. And the first relationship he had with children was Nina, and apparently he abused her children. Then he comes to Katie. He's accused of abusing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. The things that he has admitted to doing, in my opinion, rise to the level of abuse, and he's acknowledged it and admitted it online. And why they have not charged that man yet with it, I have no earthly idea. He's admitted a lot. And those things with an autistic boy, and the laws in the state of Tennessee says that he has committed, he has been abusive to Sebastian. And I think that that abuse does arise to assault. And I think he's acknowledged assault of Sebastian, even with the spanking, because I'm pretty sure, based upon their own laws in Tennessee, he's not allowed to whip Sebastian with a belt because Sebastian is autistic. And I think that's the defining line. And he has admitted to hitting Sebastian multiple times with a belt. And I think he should be held accountable for the abuse of Sebastian just on that alone. But then again, I digress. I didn't dive that much into the law. Maybe that's something that we should consider doing. If somebody would like to start the work, use AI to help compile some of the laws and let me know what you guys find. But at the end of the day, there appears to have been lights on the outside of their home, and everybody seems to be lying in this case. Okay, everybody. The sheriff's lying, the Proudfoots are lying, the Bowersocks are lying. The only person that isn't lying about where he was and what happened is Seth Rogers, in my opinion. We know where he was. We know he's acting like a grieving father because he is a grieving father. He's trying to keep on to hope that his son is alive when all the odds are stacked against him, and he knows it, and he still pushes through. He still, every day wakes up and has to put his pants on. And I know some of those days it's very hard for him. And he comes on here looking for some hope, and then he turns on Betty, right? And if he thought he's going to have hope, by God, it's gone by the time he's done, right? Because we talk on here, and I wish I could give him better hope. I wish I could tell him a different story. I wish he didn't make a child with Katie Proudfoot. But if he didn't make the child with Katie Proudfoot, he wouldn't have had Sebastian. And he loves Sebastian. But Sebastian's not here with him. And from everywhere I can sit, it seems like the only person that truly loved Sebastian is Seth. I feel like Katie loved her son, but I think Katie is a messed up woman because of her own childhood trauma. And I think that when things started everything started hitting her at once, and Chris he was relentless. He didn't want anything to do with her until she got rid of her son. Much like he said with the cigarettes, much like he said with the cats, they had to go, and guess what? They went. This time it was her son. And all of a sudden, poof, he's gone. 5D, it's nice to see you. That was good work, both of those. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Susan Smith and Letecia Stauch, great job. Great job. I would ask you how many hours, but I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. That was good. That was good. I don't even want to. I tell people all the time, people don't realize how much time and energy goes into that kind of stuff, but you did a great job. You did a great job. So hopefully everybody goes over there. I told everybody to go over there and get you some thumbs up and sub up. So, but thank you for that. That was really well put together. Both of them have been very well put together, but all your stuff is. I really do enjoy it. Yep. Perfect, guys. It's nice to see you all here. Hey, Alicia. Gathering Voices. Oh, yep. We have a Gathering of Voices flyer. Okay, guys, it's official. We are going to be at in Tennessee, rain or shine, sleet or snow. We are the USPS of Gathering of Voices protesters, whatever you want to call us, right? We show up whether it's cold. The only thing that's going to keep us away is if there's hail, okay? That's the only thing. Nobody's going to be in danger. But if it's snowing, it doesn't matter. We're going to be on there. If it's icy out, we're going to have to be off the sidewalks, though. I don't want to be responsible for people. I don't trust drivers. We'll have to be further back, okay? We'll have to be further back. But at the end of the day, we're going to be out there in Sumner County. I'm going to be there a whole week. I've got a lot to say to law enforcement, So I will be raising my voice every 5 minutes on the hour, on the top of the hour, all day long. Probably from about 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. I haven't decided if I'm going to start at 8 or I'm going to start at 9. I guess it just depends on how I feel, right? How I feel. So if you guys would like to come out, please make arrangements now. It's going to be the week of the 23rd through the 27th. But if you can only have one day or just a couple days surrounded a day to be there, I would like everybody to be there on the 26th. Everybody to be there on the 26th. Justin, if you're still listening, I know you're getting dressed. Please, Sonia, get the flyer to him and Smiley Story World. And if you can, to Chris with the Mob Crew. And I'd like people to know that we're coming out with the Gathering of Voices. This is a happy but serious event, okay? We want everybody to be smiling. We don't want any cuss words. We want our signs to say, lock 'em up, honk for Sebastian, no justice, no peace. Where are you, Sebastian? Whatever you would like to put on the sign, you may put on the sign for Sebastian. If you can, wear green. If you can't, just show up. Nope. It's February. It's going to be February. We're going February. So we have about another 2 months left before we're going to be there, but I want everybody to be there for the 2-year milestone. We are going to have cake, and we are going to have some drinks. I'm going to get some waters and stuff like that and try to remember to fill the cooler if I've got to buy a cooler, whatever the case may be. That's going to be that's going to be kind of the focus. But I just want everybody there for the 2-year milestone. That's going to be the most important. That's going to be the day that we bring in the cake, the day we bring in the drinks. Any other time that you're there, if you just want to come and see me, please bring your own chair, your own, I don't know, Just come prepared for whatever, because I don't know if it's snowing. I don't know what I'm prepared, what I'm going to be walking into in February. I just know it's going to keep going, rain or shine. That's what I know. I dress. I'm dressed. I'm prepared. If I've got to leave and go get something to keep me going there, we will get it. Depending on the day, we will get it that evening or the next day, or I'll stop right then and there, and Karen will take over the show and talk while I go get what I need to get. So whatever the case may be, it will get done. So we are going to be there February. Again, February 26th is his 2-year milestone, and I think enough is enough. We need to let the community know that we've gone nowhere. Sebastian's army is nowhere, and we deserve. And so, you know what? Sebastian deserves the respect of this sheriff showing him freaking respect, showing his father respect, and showing the community respect. He should tell us where we are in this case. Are we any further than we were 2 years ago? But you know what? What I found out about this creature is that he is just he's incompetent and unprofessional. If that's anything I can tell you about the outfit in Sumner County, is incompetence and unprofessional. And I pray to God, I keep praying every single day that, the detective is worth his salt. But, after seeing the sheriff, it's hard to believe anybody's really doing their job there. It seems like everybody's just screwing off. But trying to be on a positive note, I think we have a focus here. And I think if we go back and listen, I think we're going to be listening. I think we need to go and listen to all of the news on the 26th and the 27th. Okay, especially the 26th. There's a lot of stuff there, but it's all about water. Why would Katie imply that Sebastian would have went toward the water? When you're hearing the way that they're talking about this, and that might be a project for Hindsight or U5D, is going back to the 26th and getting all those news articles and the videos, because some of that stuff's not in the videos. Some of that stuff is in the print from that day. But I'm telling you, there was a high concentration on the water, and somebody was pushing that, in my opinion. Hey, Mama Bear, it's nice to see you. Somebody was pushing that. Tennessee lawmakers are interesting. That's an understatement. They're weird. I've never seen laws catered around. Oh, if you want to come and hurt our children, you can, as long as you can get them to say okay, then you're good to go. I mean, that's basically how the laws in Tennessee work. I think they're putrid. I think they're disgusting. I think in 2025, we should be protecting our children more than Tennessee is protecting children. Okay? Even with the latest stuff. 4 years old? 4 years old is the DP? In the state of Florida, it's 12. So 5 years old. Really? That turns my stomach. You know what? It makes me feel like there are some really sleazy people in the government of Tennessee. Disgusting, putrid, predatorial people in Congress in Tennessee. If this is the best they can do for Tennessee law when it comes to children, it makes me feel like there is a disgusting culture in the government of Tennessee. Because why would the government fight so hard to keep the children minimally aged? It's gross. It's gross in our civilized environment. It's just gross. It's just gross. So what we found out to be so ironic is, law enforcement basically told us that there was this false positive for the hit on Sebastian, because Chris and Katie from the beginning wanted to convince the whole world that Sebastian just walked out of the home, that he made a decision, a high-functioning autistic boy that is literally ingrained with a routine, just spontaneously woke up one night and decided to levitate right up out of his house. It is not logical. It is not possible. This is just wrong. And I don't know how to fix it, but we all know that Sebastian did not leave the home. And we all know that something spontaneous did happen outside of that home. And those things were the flashlights. And lo and behold, folks, what has us the most shocked out of all of this is because when you look at the track of the dogs, it's eerily similar to where the lights were observed going to a car, an unknown car. So for all the people at home, I want to show you this because maybe some of you guys didn't see it. And I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to see it. Because while I do not necessarily care for this content creator, I hope he becomes better with his bedside manner and quits being so nasty toward women. But this particular content creator apparently has a love-love relationship with Christopher Proudfoot, which, yeah, I can see birds of a feather and all, right? And it really does show the integrity of this content creator, but that's on another story all in and of itself. One thing that we observed is Gray had a conversation with hashtag Christopher Proudfoot, the most dangerous hashtag on these streets. And this hashtag Chris Proudfoot told and showed Gray Hughes where these dogs tracked from. And while law enforcement has been eager to try to get us to believe that these tracks aren't really
they
tracks.
Jumped the shark. Okay.
Remember, they told us the lights weren't legit. But before we even knew about the lights, they told us the dog hit wasn't legit. The dog hit that followed the lights almost to a blessed T. Let's watch.
Okay. There is no doubt that it was taken right here at this house. So then you know it's facing that direction. And Chris Proudfoot's story absolutely makes sense. Now, he also explained to me the route that the dog took when it had a scent. So I'll put...
So remember, Chris is the only one that has said that these dogs had a scent. We went back and looked, and very soon up front, they retracted the dog hit, even though a dog dove into the retention pond. Okay? I'm sorry. Everybody tells me that was a hit. But because law enforcement has been really working hard and around the clock to try to deceive us about the lights on the side yard and saying that those lights came from a reflection from a road that's not even attached to that community, well, would they also lie to us about this being a false positive? And my answer is I believe that they would lie to us about this being a false positive. In all fairness, I truly believe that they would tell us that this was a false positive to throw suspicion, because that would really show that Chris and Katie would have been responsible for this child, in my opinion. Hey, Poppy Love, it's nice to see you, Love Bug. Pebbles, I don't think I said hi to you. Joanne, it's nice to see you. Kemily, hello.
Put that in here as well. So he said that out the front door, it scented Sebastian. And then the dog.
And we know from everything that we heard that is not true. I heard that the dog scent took off from the garage door. The garage door. Now, again, that's just what I heard. I remember that from way back then. But I wasn't there, so I truly don't know. We're taking a person that I believe is a person of interest that's giving us a diagram, that relayed a diagram to Gray Hughes, okay? I don't trust people that I think are persons of interest to provide us reliable information about an abduction or a disappearance that I believe they're partly responsible for. You see what I'm saying? But since these lights kind of mimic the lights video that Nick Barris ultimately dropped, this kind of, makes me think.
Dog scented around the house like this.
Makes me think that, the dogs were tracking something. Because how eerily weird this is, no? That we saw flashlights kind of in the same area that these tracks are going? Anybody? Like, these are in the same areas we saw tracks going. Does anybody find that interesting?
And then back over here, where it came out, the dog came out on, I think it's...
Looks like right where the car was.
It's called Kellen Lane. So it kind of came right in front of that same house that had the fixed light on it. And then he apparently walked this direction. And then
Let's see when this was made. Hold on a second. Let me just go down here and just see when this was made. What date? May 19th. So he created this after we found out about the lights video too. Interesting. I don't know if that means anything or not. I just wanted to see.
Up here on Devon Court, took a right, and then went down this Parkenham Drive. Now the thing is all this is way more developed at this point, because this was a year ago, 4/14/2023. And I think you could actually walk straight through like that. And apparently walked over here, and there's a retention pond right here now.
I will tell you that if anybody came in this area right here, this is all built up right here. I drove around this whole entire community, and I think we've got it filmed. I'll have to pull it up so you guys can see the filming. Every single one of these houses, with the exception of very few, had Ring doorbell cameras on. And these roads are narrow, so the lights from the cars passing in front of it would have triggered one of those Ring doorbell cameras. So if Chris or anybody from his family came into this area, either through the main entrance or through the back way to cut through, their vehicle would have been caught on numerous cameras in this community. Numerous cameras in this community. So I'm confident in that if somebody went through there, hey, River, it's nice to see you. If somebody came through there, I'm confident that the vehicle would have been picked up. Now, we also have to remember, and it was reminded of me because Hindsight dropped something a day or so ago, and it reminded us about somebody asking Chris Proudfoot about what he did Sunday. And he basically said he was working on a car all day, changing out a serpentine belt. I can assure you, I personally have changed out multiple serpentine belts on vehicles. Yes, and you guys have watched me work on my vehicle, so I'm not lying to you. And I can promise you, changing out a serpentine belt does not take all day. Changing out a serpentine belt, if you are just replacing the old belt, is fairly easy to do, okay? It takes a long ratchet handle thing. You got to get the right bolt. You put it down, you push it, and it brings the pulley up. And you just change out this huge belt. You got to weave it, rove it, and all around here, okay? So I don't see how a serpentine belt would take all day, but it did bring a valuable point up because many people have been very curious of what kind of car he was working on. Because we saw a car, well, at least the mob crew, and I kind of concur in part, that there was a car that this blob carrying a blob, loading it into a vehicle was, right? I originally thought it may be Kathy Bowersock's Infinity, right? And he's saying, nope, it's a sedan. And so I think a lot of people have kind of bought onto the sedan. So now we know that Chris Proudfoot was touching and had access to a car that day. Does anybody find that interesting? I think that might be interesting, and I think that might be something. Now, I don't know because I believe Chris has people that will lie for him. I'm hoping that whoever was with Chris that day tells law enforcement the truth. I mean, this is a child that is missing. I hope you do not put your neck out for it to be cut off, because Chris will allow you to have your neck cut off. He has no loyalty whatsoever. So if you have lied, now's a great day for you to come clean and not get in trouble. I'm pretty sure if you came clean with some real good information, law enforcement would give you a hell of a deal to make sure that you make it to trial. Something happened, and I believe Chris and Katie are responsible. I don't see where they're going to trust a whole lot of other people to be responsible or involved in this. This is something that they would only trust the most trusted. The most trusted. And what if this was a friend's car that wasn't there, or decided to go out to a bar and come home drunk on a motorcycle? Would they really know whether their car was missing or not? Just a thought. Just a thought. So we have this whole scenario where it appears that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers went inside a home and never left the home until someone, a blob, grabbed him, carried him, and appears to have carried him to a sedan that was sitting right off of Stafford and Kellen before being drove off and never seen again. That's what it looks like. And we have to use Occam razor in this because there are so many possibilities, right? There are so many possibilities, but which possibilities take the least amount of assumptions that can be, which ones can be brought on just by the factual basis of the case alone? There is never a case that we do not look at the last person being left alone with the victim before they were deceased or missing. Most of the time, it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend. In this case, it was a mother. Okay? It was a mom. It was a mom that has a very, very horrific history herself, that clearly has childhood trauma, that was clearly going through a very tough time in her life where she's looking around, looking at possibly losing everything. A husband that was actively trying to punish her and make her feel the pain of taking on that house all by herself and the impending failure and doom that is going to be coming for her after he leaves the home. He wanted her to make a decision, either his lifestyle with only him or her to be with her son, that she needed to make that. And I truly believe with everything going on, she just snapped. Many people believe that she may have just put Sebastian out because of some of the statements. I know the late Peter Hyatt believed that she threw him out of the house as punishment. I was never there. I truly believe the reason why they kept saying he walked out of the front door is because they were adamant they did not want to imply an abduction. They did not want to imply an abduction. They only wanted to imply that he willingly walked off and walked away from his home, even though he's never done it once before, ever in his history. And I think they did that and made that the decision to do that because they thought it would limit the investigation. I truly believe Chris and Katie planned this out where they were going to just be handed a piece of paper from the sheriff's office that said, you know, call us if he comes back home, type of thing. But they were frantically surprised that, oh my gosh, this blew up into a big thing. And that's what set Chris off and why he wanted them to take the focus off the house, because he knew what happened. What he was trying to avoid was that. That's what he was trying to avoid. And when he pulled up, he was probably like, oh shit, what do we do now? And so now they just got to play the part, right? But within 3 days, they had an excuse because, lo and behold, even though Seth didn't set up the GoFundMe, his sister did, because his sister knew something wasn't right. And so they decided to blow this whole thing out of proportion about this GoFundMe, which I don't see anybody really giving a rat's ass whether somebody has a GoFundMe. I certainly would not. If I had a kid missing and my husband needed to take off work and he wanted to make sure he was okay and could pay his rent and pay for his gas, and I wouldn't give a crap. I'd prefer him being there than at work, right? So I don't see where that would bother me. But for whatever reason, Chris Proudfoot blew the gasket. And I think that was only a point because Seth would not leave the house. He wanted to be there in case Sebastian came home. He wanted to be there. And so I think he was crowding their space where they couldn't even talk about what happens next. And I still think that they had Sebastian to take care of. I don't think they had time to do anything with Sebastian if what I think happened. And so I think that that's when he needed to go back and get his RV. He made up this excuse and he was gone for 20 to 24 hours. And that's from his own estimate. That's his estimate. That came from his mouth, not mine. He's the one that said that on Smiley Stories World. That he was gone 20 or 17, 24, then it was 20, then it was 17 hours or something like that, you know, that he was gone for. We'll have to go back to Smiley Stories World and find out, but he's the one that said that. And then when we found out when he went and we realized he never came back with his trailer. I don't remember him coming back with his trailer until 2 weeks later. So, and he was standing, from everything we know, on Wednesday when he kicked Seth out of the house. He left. He went up there to get his camper. He was gone for 17 to 24 hours. And when he came back, he was back by Thursday night, because Thursday night's when Miss Bobby drove around the house and he was standing in the middle of the street, crossing his arm, intimidating the young girl in the back seat of the car like he owned the place. He's a creepy dude. He's a creepy dude. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, emphasizing that greed, not money itself, drives harmful actions like corruption and deceit. They pay people to hush, yes. And now all of a sudden they want to make a scholarship. Make a scholarship in Sebastian's honor. As if the boys, I mean, that tells me everything I need to know. They never expected him to come home. When you start making up, he's dead. She admitted he's dead. And that is the most disgusting part about the whole birthday thing she did, is that she finally came out and admitted that he's dead. She admitted it. Because why would you have a scholarship to honor a boy that doesn't need to be honored yet? If he's coming home, he doesn't need to be honored, that he needs to be found. So you would use that money. I mean, they never even put money toward anything. Nothing. But they're going to put money toward a scholarship in his honor? Is that supposed to make them feel like they've done something positive after destroying his life? I'm trying to figure this out because I just don't understand. Because to me, it sounded like she finally admitted he is dead. That's what it sounded like to me. And she was just laughing and giddy and happy. But telling everybody he's never coming home again. What a sick woman that woman is. What a sick woman that woman is. Yeah. I mean, she told us. She told the quiet part out loud. It's just, it's sad. It's sad. It's detrimental. All right, guys, I don't have a lot. What does it say at Betty? In my opinion, it was clear that they didn't have some hope of him coming home when Chris said this would be a case study for years. That made me really feel like, well, you know what, Primrose, I agree with that. But the one thing that made me know, and I think in the back of Seth's mind as well, is Chris when he came home. I mean, it's not even through the first day, and all he's already talking to Seth about is that Sebastian's dead. And what are they going to do when this goes south? I don't know any parent that would like, I wouldn't even do that to my own sister. Somebody that I talk to about a lot of stuff, right? Private, personal stuff. If you can't trust me and I can't trust you, we can't trust anybody, right? My sister. That's like me going to my sister and saying, what are you going to do if this goes south? We would never think of that. We would keep forging ahead, right? We would keep hope alive. And they diminished hope literally within an hour of Chris. Chris knew that day. Who would have ever said anything like that? But you know what it makes me believe? It makes me believe Sebastian was close to that house that day. And Chris and Katie knew he was close to that house. And for whatever reason, they did not find him. I truly believe Chris moved, or somebody moved Sebastian after the fact when they realized that they did not find him. Because at that point, they didn't want him found. Because everything had gotten so crazy. I truly believe that. Because I got to tell you, that's the only thing that explains why Chris had to leave for so many hours. It doesn't make sense that he went up there for his camper and was gone that many hours. It takes less than an hour to get a camper of that size packed up and mobile ready. Taking the skirt off, I'd have to see video images that the skirt was put on that day to believe that. If he had to take the skirting off, if the skirting was even on, again, it might take some time. You don't want to rip the skirting. But it's basically push buttons in many of the cases. So you just walk around and unbutton the pieces and fold them up and whatever the case may be. Whatever. But it to me feels like he was around the house. He was around the house because all the statements that Chris and Katie were making at that time were that he was going to be found, but he was going to be found deceased during those days. It wasn't until later that language or how they were talking about this started changing. And when it started changing, it started being he was never going to be found again. And the greatest part about it is he never left any evidence and la-da-da-dee-da-dee. It was like this weight was lifted off both of their shoulders just one day, just like Stacy and Sarah Wandra, where you see all this weird religious talk, but then all of a sudden, one day, it was like God forgave them. Everything was going to be all right. All of this. And I absolutely 100% believe that that's when they moved the body and they successfully moved the body, was when they started feeling like, and I feel like that was the same thing with Chris and Katie when they started making their speech differently. You know, their speech went from it being, what are we going to do if this goes south, to he's never going to be found again. They knew conclusively he would never be found or walk through the door. And I can 100% tell you 2 people that are very, very close to Chris were with him that evening, and I will stand on a stack of Bibles. Well, we were looking for more than 2 people in a vehicle, in a car. And it sounds like he was working on a car, and I think we need to be searching that angle. You know, especially with Mob Crew. You know, Mob Crew is saying that this is a sedan. It sounds like Christopher was working on a sedan, and he was with more than one person, and we believe 3 people were there. I don't know. This is, you know, I don't know any friend that would put their neck out this much, but we know that that people have friends like that. I like my ride or die, Laura. I don't like we thick as thieves. Okay, I think she would have tapped out if I called her up for something like this. That's my BFF, my ride or die. I'm just saying. Okay. She may know where all the proverbial dead bodies are, but she ain't helping me drag the dead body to the graveyard, okay? I'm just saying, not playing. I love my BFF, but I don't think she loves me that much. I damn sure don't love her ass that much. I'm just saying, okay? Hey, Acting Badly, it's nice to see you. May God comfort Seth. My heart aches for him too. I hurt for him. You know, I care for Seth. I care for what he's going through. I care for the pain he must be feeling. You know, I wish things were different. You know, I wish things were different. You know, there's nothing I can say. I mean, I wish a lot of things were different in life. I wish a lot of things were different for our victims that we bring on this show. But unfortunately, a lot of our victims meet the same fate. So far, we've had 2 survivors, and that's Charlotte Senna and J.J. Rollins. Okay? I mean, we've had a few survivors here. Okay? Not many. Not many. Out of all the cases we've covered, folks. I mean, you guys wonder, you know, everybody's all, you just jump to conclude. No, I don't. I mean, even our own statistics here on the true crime community, just from us running the cases, how many cases do we actually find the people home healthy, safe? Jade and Spice are gone. I mean, Lily and Jack gone. I mean, all these kids are gone. They're not coming home. Okay? They're not coming home. And 90% of them their mommy, daddy, or caregiver did it to them. And if they're older, it's usually a lover. Or a parent and adult child, like we just seen with Rob Rainier, or whatever his name was, that we were talking about today. And there are witnesses that saw them together that evening. It may have been one of that punk guy that, you know, I felt was lying for Chris. The one that said, oh, yeah, I was at the bar and I was there for several hours and I drove my motorcycle. So you're admitting to driving your motorcycle under the influence of alcohol. You admitted that on TV, on online. Like, the statute of limitations hasn't run out, bro. So, I mean, I think it would be a very slow case and probably Tennessee wouldn't prosecute it, but I mean, hell, he admitted to a DUI. In my opinion, I feel evidence went to a different landfill, in my opinion. I do too, because maybe they did, maybe that was what was over there is evidence. Maybe it was put into a dumpster. They got a hit on a dumpster too, but they didn't go to the landfill that dumpster went to. They went to the landfill that the garbage from the Proudfoot's home went to. And it sounds like they were using e-dogs. Oh, that's right. I need to get a hold of Jules so she can explain that, because she was telling something about that. So I've got to get a hold of her and get that scheduled. Hopefully we'll have that worked out this week. No, I'm talking about the day he went back to the camper. Oh, actually, I know that to be true as well. I heard through the grapevine that it was most likely Kathy and Terry, because it was that night Chris got a call from his daughter. Yeah. And no, she's out. She went in. She had a concussion. They had her for observation, but she's been home. She's home. She's home now. So she's doing okay. She's doing better. Chris is like a rebellious 5th grader who wanted to get revenge on an innocent young autistic teen boy and wanted to let everybody know he got payback. It's disgusting. That's what it does look like. It really does. It's just, but we can't dismiss Katie. I mean, Katie was the one alone with him. And she's a pretty messed up individual. I mean, even Seth told us that she would wake up in the middle of the night and just start beating the crap out of him while he was sleeping. You know, what if she did that to Sebastian with his head injury and the thud? I mean, that could explain all of that. Literally all of that. And it already looked like Sebastian was not happy, according to what his father told us. His father told us the hands in the pocket as he's walking out of the Texas Roadhouse is a problem. That he didn't look as happy as he would have looked leaving a restaurant with his dad. You know? And then his dad finds out that, oh my God, his son has been, potentially abused by these people he's been trusting. And he had no clue until after his son was gone. And when have we ever had a case where there was abuse, but the person that was abusing wasn't responsible for the disappearance? I'd like to explore the statistics on that, because I don't think we have good statistics on that either. I think statistics will show us that the person that's usually abusing the victim is usually the one for the resulting death or missing disappearance of that person. Typically, that's what our statistics show us. And those are factual cases, folks. Those are factual cases. It's nice to see you, Catherine. Well, I agree with that. He does need to sue him, but, when's the appropriate time, I think everybody needs to be sued in this case, and then for them not to be just pulling out all the stops, them just looking like a bunch of douchebags. I mean, Sebastian deserves better than this. And that's why it's so important that we rise up on February 26th, to let the whole community as well as law enforcement know we're here. We want Sebastian's case found and solved. We want Sebastian found, and we want his case solved. and we want to see them working. We want to see them not only working, but working on his case. We want to see them quit going out with their hands out for personal items like paychecks and nice offices, and start having their hand out for resources to find Sebastian. Do what's right for a member of their community that is missing. But it seems like nobody really cares to hold Chris and Katie accountable. But everybody knows they're responsible. And I'm just trying to justify why we are still here almost 2 years later. This is a solvable case, and law enforcement is no longer reaching out to resources to help solve it. They have the U.S. Marshals that have been chomping at the bit to get involved, and Sumner County keeps pushing them away. Why? Are they scared what they might find? Because it sure feels like it. It sure feels like it. I'm not going to stop until Sebastian comes home safely, or the people that did this to him and made him unsafe and disappeared him go to jail for the rest of their life. We will not stop. We haven't stopped for 2 years. We care about this boy. We're going to continue to fight for this boy. We know what is being told to us is lies. We know what's being told to us is lies. We just want the truth. Sebastian's father deserves to know the truth. The public deserves to know the monsters the Proudfoots are. They deserve to know. And law enforcement is protecting who? The people that hurt an autistic boy. Here we are coming to Christmas, and I guarantee that the sheriff's going to have just a grand time during his Christmas with his family and his children. I'm pretty sure the judges and all the other deputies are probably going to be doing the same. Enjoying the holidays, Christmas and New Year's with their families and their children. You know who's not? Seth. I'm not even going to say Chris and Katie, because they're happy that they don't have to deal with him. They're happy that Sebastian isn't here. Clearly, she's so giddy, it's erupting out of her on the Dutch's interview on his birthday. Just how happy she is, how giddy she is that she and her husband got away with it. All she had to do was listen to Chris, and he fixed everything. He's probably like, now that you're in the clear, it's time for us to go our separate ways. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Aw, thank you, Dee. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Thank you for all your help, by the way. All right, guys. Well, this is kind of the end of our road. It's been a long day for me. We've had quite an emotional roller coaster. We found out a beloved producer was unalived with his wife, and allegedly it's his son that did it. Okay, and while I think the president is in his rights to make any type of statement about somebody that called him the horrible names that man did, he still did not cheer it on. He still did not he still sent his condolences. He sent his condolences in a pessimistic way, kind of, sort of. At best, I guess is the best we can express that. Right? But, I mean, that guy kind of, did a lot of stuff he's not happy with. He's not happy with. And then we went on to the Brown University. We're kind of stuck between it being a crazy leftist or a Muslim. We haven't figured it out yet. I saw the back of the neck and it looked kind of white, but then from an angle, it looks like it's a collared or poloed shirt, which is, again, weird. Why would somebody that's going there dress so nicely? I don't know. I don't know. So we're still waiting to find out who the person is. I can tell you that the white guy that they arrested yesterday is not the guy. They let him go this morning. He went home. He's not the guy. So that means the murderer of these two beautiful students, the murderer is still on the run. We have a manhunt, folks. there is a manhunt for a man that did a mass casualty event in Rhode Island at Brown University, an Ivy League university. And the most shocking situation there is the lack of the president 6 hours later not having one stick of information. We learning through multiple news organizations that their video footage on campus was shoddy at best. And this is an Ivy League school paying $71,000 a year per student or per semester. I think it's per semester. And they cannot do anything better than this for their students. I would be appalled if I was sending my child to this school for that kind of price. They should have top-notch cameras, technology, and everything else for an Ivy League school. And I'm so sick of hearing these horrible price tags on these schools and finding out how they are really cheating their students. They're really that much crap. That's what I'm saying, tulips. Like, I mean, you can get state-of-the-art systems like cheap this day and age. And then it being an Ivy League school, yeah, they're going to pay a pretty penny for some stuff just because of it being a university. But still, you're paying I think it's $71,000 a semester. If that's really truly a semester, $71,000 or even a year, that's a lot of blessed money. Come on now. It's all about the elitist. I know, right? It's always about the Joneses. Where did your my child was accepted in Brown University. Yeah. She's going to be great. She's going to be the next president of the United States of America. I get it. But still, you know what? I'm sorry. Even if I was rich, I would want to, maybe it's the conservative in me. I want to make sure I'm spending money right. You know, I don't like wasting money. It's a pet peeve of me. Anyways, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. You guys have a great day. I think it's very interesting. We're starting to take Katie's behavior and compare it to others because, let's face it, we all believe the woman is guilty as shit. And I don't think we're going to stop until her and Chris are behind bars because Chris has covered her. That's accessory after the fact. And if we find out this is premeditated, both of their asses are cooked. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.